you don't just want any agent. You want somebody who gets the material. And so what I was going to ask you is, have you done, and I'm sure you have, but I have to ask, have you done the thing of looking at for other talent, other pieces of talent who are like you and researching who their agents are? Like for sensibility. And this is like a sensibility pass with agents. You want to make sure, you want to think of movies that have your sensibility and then look at the talent behind it and see who the representation is so you can kind of slot yourself.
We haven't. I mean, it's weird because we've actually met with some production companies and I've had a couple major managers at companies, and I won't say there, and they oh, this is amazing, let's do it. And you know how it is, if you don't have someone behind you pushing it, it always falls off the wayside because they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's catch-22, of course, like everybody in the room probably, but it's just very.
Can I say something controversial?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
Write another better script.
This one's gold, though.
I mean,
this
I'm sure your script is awesome. Write another one, because sometimes people don't have an attention span, and if this has been around to people and it isn't getting you what you need to write a different one. And
what if there's
it'll
a
be more
situation
awesome,
where
hopefully.
I talked to this creative exec, CE, whatever, this company who actually went to a big studio, and it's funny because we found out about 3 months after our script was done that there's a competing project at a major studio. Well, it figures the one person that I told is the point person on the script, so it's like very unusual. I mean, it's very rare that actually like
So the CE that you gave your script to?
Of a small company who I talked about it
The point person
at the big studio now of a
competing project
of exactly the same movie
Ugh,
and exactly the same name even. So I mean,
That sounds
But
kind of shady.
that sounds shitty. I mean, you know, we all know the Dante's Peak volcano stories. I mean, there are
no,
just
I understand, but
there are a lot of.
isn't that weird? Isn't that strange?
It's a little bit shady.
Anyway, whatever. I mean, so it's
Yeah,
disheartening.
yeah. I'm sorry. I know. It sucks. Don't on the one hand, I want you to put your hearts and souls into your writing, but don't put your hearts and souls into the business. There's a difference. You know, you can't let your self-esteem hinge on this business. I tried. Believe me, I tried for years and I failed. I ended up on Zoloft rocking back and forth in front of my computer crying. And they say you can't cry on Zoloft. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can cry through it.
Yes. And you think, and everybody thinks, you know, this is the other thing. I was at Austin, and there are all these great kids, and they're so excited, and they have so much enthusiasm for the business, and they're not jaded effers like we are living in Hollywood yet. And like, should I move to LA? And I got my script, and you just want to go like, no. Not because I don't want the competition. I want you to pursue your dream, and I want you to do that, but I also want you to have other dreams, because you think you want this career, and you actually don't know what it is. People actually don't know what this career is. They don't understand. It's, you know, people think, oh, you know, I want the car and I want the house and I want the lifestyle. No, you don't. You want the feeling underneath those things. And the thing is never going to give you the feeling. Never, ever in a million years. Just go for the feeling. Whatever gives you the feeling, go for that. Bypass the Hollywood career. It doesn't look, Steve Gaghan was depressed as shit after he won his Oscar. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we went to the same shrink. I know. People are, and he's a great guy, and he's done a lot of work on himself. But you find all my friends who are super successful writers, we are like therapied out the ass because of the trauma we've had to endure from the business side of this. So, and you all know it. I mean, I'm not telling you anything new.
It's also why a lot of feature writers go into TV, because they're so sick
Oh my
of
God, you're
being,
nice to me. Thank you.
I'm the king here, and you're actually respecting me, and I'm nice. Yeah, and you're nice to me here. It's, you know, it's sad. I'm not jaded yet.
Invent a YouTube. Invent a new website. I don't know. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Okay.
Sort of along those lines of being a writer, could you talk about what you mentioned before about the 3 bed pages a day and just sort of how you deal with being a writer on a daily basis and expectations?
I would love to. Okay. So I need to bargaining. I'm a big bargainer with myself. I want to spend as little time in front of the computer as possible. I want to be as productive as possible. So I have a rule, and whatever it is, it's, you know, 1 bad page or 1 hour, whichever comes first. I am racing to get that page done in under an hour. Or it's 3 bad pages in 2 hours, whichever comes first. I make these little deals because you don't want to get sucked into the vortex of endless time and head banging, and you don't want the computer to be a place of frustration. You want it to be a place of where you sit down and you're productive. If you are banging your head in front of the computer, get your ass up out of that chair and get away from the computer. And it's different for everybody. You may need to just get through that hard time. I don't like to be so frustrated in front of my computer. I will go out. I'll go work longhand. I'll go take my laptop and work at, you know, in a public space. I like to ventilate and be out and about and feel good. I want good feelings for the writing. I want to feel productive. So anything that feels counterproductive, or stuck, don't do that. Secondly,
The other rule of 3 bad pages a day was the rule that, what I was talking about before, which is like, if you're afraid to make it bad, it's going to be vanilla. It's going to be boring because you're trying to make it come out good as you're doing it. So I am not afraid to make it really, really shitty, because if you've got 2.5 pages of super shitty and then there's a weird half page of like bizarre inspiration genius, that's the thing that people will pay $1 zillion for, is that little thing. And you can edit out the rest. You can cut every single thing you wrote except for that one thing. So, but you have to be okay with it being bad, or else it's never going to be great. It's just going to be okay.
and part of what I talk about and what I taught myself to do is to get rid of the tyranny of the angry editing monkey that lives on our shoulders, who's just saying,
Shitbird.
the shitbird. Do you have a shitbird? Mine's a monkey.
Shits on my shoulder.
And the bird shits on your
It's
shoulder.
on me constantly.
And I say, I'm writing bad pages. Shut up. It's a vomit job. These are shitty pages. You have no job. You have no job here. And editing and writing are two very different things for me. I do not edit while I write. My job is to just go blah. And I just blah. And that I just keep doing that until I can't bear to blah anymore. And I need to go back and comb through the vomit for the diamonds and the marble, which I believe we talked about earlier. So really allow yourself the freedom of writing badly. It's very liberating. It's very liberating, and you will stumble across great stuff, because permission and freedom is why we all do this to begin with, is to be free and like to try and create these worlds. So don't edit yourself. Don't become a dictator. Angela's looking like we need to. 3 more? Okay.
I had a question. Everything you read, everything your instructors tell you is, I'm talking about the layout of the script on the page, is to keep your action sequences very short. Short sentences, each paragraph no more than 4 lines. But
Heard no more than 3.
But I read like James Cameron scripts, and
But he's directing his own stuff.
It's James Cameron.
He's James
too.
Cameron. Don't compare yourself to James Cameron.
Nothing good ever.
He's had a
came
lot
of
of
that.
bad marriages too. Don't do that to yourself. Yeah, I know it's hard. I know you want to look, if that's your style, go for it. But if people are telling you shorten the description, if your description's awesome, if you're writing 5 lines of awesome description, I'll read that. I don't want to read a whole script of that, quite honestly.
This is my friend. I met the other day.
First of all, thank you both so much. It's so refreshing to see 2 very funny, fun
Thank you.
women being successful. It really is.
Thank you.
And this has been very, very helpful for me. And I guess one of the questions I have is just more on the business side. Can you just talk a little bit about the role of your agent and or manager, pluses, minuses? I know there might be one in the room, but just because I've been getting I think, I don't know if I speak for anyone else, but I was a quarterfinalist in Nichols, and so I have a lot of people that have
Congratulations.
contacted me. Thank you, but everyone has different advice. And so it's tough to get someone saying, oh, you don't need a manager, you need a manager. Oh, you need an agent, you don't need an agent. Oh, you have a contact, go there. And you're like, okay, I just need a drink. Yeah. So, so that would be very helpful. Thank you.
I think you want a group of people around who you really believe in and relate to and who get you, and because you're going to talk to them a lot. So like I saw my now agent at a Wear Your Worst outfit party wearing a Lambada t-shirt and some really tight wide well corduroys that were also ill-fitting, I might add. And I was like, that guy's cool. I want to hang out with him. And I love talking to my agent, just shooting the shit, talking about whatever. He's a big weirdo. I love him. So you want to gravitate towards people who if you have a bad feeling talking to somebody, you shouldn't sign with them. Even if you need it, you really shouldn't. It's not going to go well. We've all been there. It's not going to end well. I had a bad feeling with an attorney. I ended up leaving. Follow those instincts. They're very valuable, and you are going to have to be an instinct, maven in this process, and really listen to yourself. Even if a bunch of voices are going, no, you have to trust your own compass. And again, that will never fail you. All this bad advice will fail you. So do what feels good for you. If that means you find a manager you really like and you don't have an agent, fine. If that means you have an agent and not a manager, if you have both, whatever feels good.